But then I got this class that you would call the class out of H. I don't want to say that.
Class out of hell.
Well, you said it, not me.
Okay.
But it was a very challenging class, but that's when I really learned how to be the quality teacher that I am today. I had a third grade class of around 32 children, and I had 2 gangs in my class. And
Two gangs?
Yeah.
Real gangs?
Well, they called themselves gangs. They could not get along together. And so I'm up there, trying to teach a lesson.
And this was 3rd grade?
Right, 3rd grade. They would not listen to me. They would be talking to their neighbors. They would have their hands in
What
their
about
desks.
graffiti? Did they do that?
Well, they might have in the middle of the night, but not in the classroom.
Okay.
But I went to my principal and I told him, if I get another class like this, I'm going to have to quit teaching, because I was becoming a nervous wreck. I'd be up there in front of these children and I'd be literally shaking sometimes. So I had a job. I had to do the best I possibly could. The curriculum they had given me did not work with this unruly group. So
You had to make something up. You had to devise something.
right, I had been a singer and I was a composer, wrote songs, and I thought, gosh, I'm going to write my own curriculum for these kids. I have to get them ready to do well on the state assessment test at the end of the school year, and I've got to look good, or I might, because I was kind of like, well, I was not a brand new teacher, had been teaching for around 5 or 6 years. But I started writing my own curriculum for these children. I had to get their hands moving because they had their hands inside their desk all the time. They're always talking, so I says, something with the voice, maybe choral reading, and they love music because they always, they like the radio and dancing. So I'll get it kind of a musical thing. I created my own lesson for English language arts and a math lesson, and the children loved it.
Even the gang members?
Yes, everybody. And I put competition in it where we were competing in my lessons, and I spread those gang members on different sides. So this taught cooperation, respect for each other, because they had to work together. There's a motive there. And I don't want to say too much because my program is so unique. I have discovered powerful secret strategies and techniques to empower teachers and parents to motivate their children to want to learn. The key word is to want to learn in a fun and exciting way with 100% participation.
You kind of have a happy schoolroom, classroom.
Right. I have a wonderful environment for children to learn. My whole umbrella over teaching is have fun. Teacher must have fun. If the teacher's having fun, the children will have fun. It just kind of flows over. And
So you don't believe in being stern, Miss Snodgrass,
I
and talking
do.
down to kids.
No, I talk to them. We're all equals. But you have to have discipline. My program creates children who are disciplined.
How do you do discipline with a little ruly kid?
Well, that's a secret strategy I have in my book. I know you think, well, people can't do it, but I have discovered through my 20 years of teaching, I've been teaching for 20 years, and I'm going to tell you how I even got started with this program. 20 years ago is when I had that group of children, wrote those lessons, kept on writing more and more lessons, then I had enough for a book. So I did.
And you call your book is
Yes.
Standard-Based Curriculum Revitalized.
And that
Proven
was
to work over 20 years.
Right. But the first book was called Creative Teaching Hurrah. And it was basically, English language lessons and math lessons compiled into a generic book for 1st through 3rd grade. And I had my principal come into my classroom and watch my children, we demonstrated my lessons. He thought it was wonderful. I compiled the book, went to the district, applied as a mentor teacher. They loved my program. I was a mentor teacher. I went to all the schools and in service to teachers in 1st through 3rd grade, and that's how it all began. Then after that year, I kept on writing more and more lessons. Then 20 years later, something happened that it was like a gift from heaven telling me, you've got to get this book out. I went to a district seminar where all the teachers in the Buena Park School District had to attend.
You teach in Buena Park?
Right. I'm a second grade teacher for the Buena Park School District. I've been with the Buena Park School District for over 30 years.
30 years? That's a long time.
Yes, but after that class from out of whatever, they made me love teaching because I had to create curriculum that is so much fun and enjoyable for my class, and they love it. For example, if I'm teaching one of my lessons and the bell rings, they don't want to go out.
They don't just split.
No, they want to stay in and continue doing the lesson. They even beg me. And this happens year after year after year, 20 years, a different class, but the story is always the same. They just love my lessons because I have found a magic or the secret strategies, techniques to motivate children to want to learn because it's what they want to do.
They want to learn. You have to teach them to read and write.
But I do it in a way that children love doing it.
Oh.
And that I'm not going to say anything about what it is because it's in here, and you can go to my website, www.sbc, S like school, C like, B. I mean,
like
SB
B.
like a book, SBC like college, revitalized, REVITALIZED.com.
This book can be used internationally.
Yes.
Because there's so many kids with learning disabilities.
Right. For any child. Because I'm teaching children in a way that they want to be taught. The way children...
Having fun.
Yes. Like I said, that's the umbrella for my whole program. They're having fun.
But what about kids like who really have learning disabilities, like autistic kids?
Well, I've been doing a lot of research in autism, and I'm just amazed looking at their learning styles. You know, they need to be in a environment where they don't feel intimidated, and this is the environment I have here. It's excellent for English language learners too. I can have a child come to me from first grade who is at risk of being retained, and I can bring them up from the bottom almost to the top with this program because I do it every year. I bring the kids up. They feel so good about themselves because they're in an environment that can, brings that out in them. And so the autistic child, there's no fear because you're participating with everybody else. Also, it's using all three styles, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic, because that's what works with these autistic children. And they do the choral reading, so they're learning how to speak or read with other children. And my program also gives children the opportunity to find out what it's like to be a teacher. And children love learning from other kids. So they have the opportunity to learn how to be leaders and role models. I'm trying to build good character, good citizens. My program works wonders for behavior problems. I just make them turn right around because the program makes them start loving to learn and see that I love them for who they are, and I want to help them to enjoy life. I says, oh no, I changed this kid around because he's like this. You can't make me do that. But I made him, and he'd have his feet up in the air, and so I just let him be. But with my new strategies and techniques, I changed that kid around. At the last day of school, he came in with a bouquet of flowers for me. Only one.
Sunday.
Right. So
Sunday
many children.
Hefner. I really want to thank you. And we'll do it again.
Thank you so much.